Hello, today we're going to make this cute little octopus, and you will need the colour that you're going to make it from, some pink for the cheeks, some black if you're going to sew on the eyes, or some little safety eyes if you're going to use those. I've got the amigurumi cotton, which is from Rico Yarns, and you'll need obviously some little scissors and your 3mm hook, and also a darning needle to sew in the ends. So let's get started. No magic ring, thank goodness. And you're going to start with your slip knot and make 2 chains to start. So keep them fairly loose, and I hope you can see this red. And then into this first chain that you did, so the second one from the hook, we're going to do 6 double crochets. Now I work in UK terms. If you work in American terms, it's a single crochet, and that's the only stitch you need throughout, apart from a slip stitch and a chain. So we'll do 3, and then another 3, and then you've got your first round is already done. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we don't do the joining with the slip stitch and all that because we're working the amigurumi. So if I work back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is where the stitch marker needs to be. So in every round that you do from now on, pop your stitch marker in the first double crochet of each round. So I'm going to take that out because we're going to start round 2. So round 2 we're increasing. So into that first double crochet of the first round, we're going to make 2 double crochets into each stitch. Now that's the first one, and then we're going to pin that with the stitch marker. So into that same double crochet we're going to do another one. So 2 double crochets into each stitch round, which should give you 12 stitches by the end of this round. And that's 6. That's 8. And 10. So that leaves 1 stitch left. So this is 11. And this is 12. Okay, so that's round 2 complete. Round 3, we're still increasing. So we take out the stitch marker and make sure you see, you're having a look where that is. And into this one, we're going to do 1 double crochet. So there's 1, and put your stitch marker in the first one of that round. And then the pattern for this round is 1 and then 2. So 2 in this one. And then we're going to go again 1 and 2. So that is your pattern all the way around this round. I'm going to leave you and then I'm going to meet you back here. So 1 and then 2. You need 18 stitches by the end of this round. So I've got 18 stitches doing the 1 and then 2, increasing. So again, take the stitch marker out and pop the first stitch of your next round in there, and then stitch marker in, because it's really easy to lose where you are. And on this round, round 4, 1 double crochet into each stitch round. So make sure you're counting and make sure you've got 18. So this is the first one, second. So 1 double crochet, and this is where the magic starts to happen, and it will start to curl around about here. Okay, I'll see you around at the other end of this round. So I'm at the end of round 4. Take out your stitch marker, start round 5 and pop that back in. Round 5 is exactly the same as round 4. So it's 1 double crochet into each stitch going round, and round 6 is exactly the same again. So do this round that you're currently doing and the next round, and I will see you back at the end of round 6. So now I'm at the end of round 6 and it's forming a nice shape already. So round 7 is where we start to decrease. So you still need to do the same thing, drop the stitch marker, do your first double crochet of round 7, pop that back in. Now this is where it gets interesting. You are going to decrease, but in the front loops only. So that's a stitch that's already been used. So this is the next stitch, and we're going to crochet 2 together, but we're just going to go front loop there and catch hold of the front loop there. So you've got 3 on your hook, and then we go through and form the next stitch, which is taken up 2 stitches. So the next one we go fully into that stitch. I seem to have got a strand trapped. And then it's these 2 stitches that we're going to bring together, but using the front loops only. So that one and that one, and pull through, and then again we're going to go into the next one. So this is causing the fabric now to pull in on itself and create this little down section here. So again we're going to go in, catch the next 2, and then the next one. So catch the front loops of the next 2 and formulate a double crochet, and then into the next one. Okay, keep going round and I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. So at the end of that round you should have got 12, back down to 12 stitches, and this is where you need some toy stuffing or a bit of old fabric, even a bit of old yarn, and we're going to put the tail end in. That might as well stay in there, and we're going to stuff our cutesy little octopus. It doesn't need much. Now I'm just going to kind of half stuff it, well, 3/4 stuff it for now, because we still need to work on it, and we can always pop some in after the next round. So we're up to here, and the next round we're going to continue to decrease without the double crochets in between. So what you need to do is now decrease into the back loop. So there, and then there. So this just gives it a bit of texture at the bottom of the octopus. So this is, and then through all those 3 loops, which is easier said than done. Same thing, we're going to pop the stitch marker back, and then we're going to continue to decrease on the back loops round 8, and it's just going to get fiddlier and tinier. We ought to do one with lace one time and see how that works out. So feel free to stick your finger in the bottom of it. To help keep it shape. Okay, now we're really getting tight now. I'm just going to do one more, and then I'm going to pop a bit more stuffing in. Right, before, let me just get hold of that one. Fantastic. Now, oh, so cute. Now, if you've got safety eyes, you might want to put them in at this point, so while you can still get in the bottom. So, the eyes go about 1, 2, 3, kind of 4th round down. So let's see on this one. That's the back. So 1, 2, 3, kind of here. And they go to so one would go there, and then you'll need to pop the back in, and then the other one would go 2 stitches to the other side in a similar place. Now on this one, I think I'm going to do sewn on eyes so that I can show you where they go and how to do that. But actually, how cute is that? I've changed my mind. I'm going to stick with the safety eyes. So I'm just going to pop the backs on, because that's going to be quite fiddly, and then I'll come back to you. So this is my little octopus with its safety eyes in, and this is the sewn one. If you want to sew them, go in from the bottom and take your yarn out and then back in, and then come over to here, and then out, and then back in, and then draw it out the front and out the bottom, and then you can tie those in a knot and cut off the ends. And then the pink cheeks work exactly the same. So take the pink in from the bottom, bring it through, and keep it this side of the eye on either side, and then bring it back out and sew it in that way. But I thought I'd shake it up because I quite like that. I've had to put a bit more stuffing in. So when you're at this stage, whichever eyes you decide to do, you can make sure you've got enough stuffing in there, And then all we're going to do from here is we're just going to keep decreasing. So we're going to take that one and that one in the back loops. And then keep decreasing until you can no more. I think I'm done there. So I've still got quite a gap there, so I'm going to take my scissors, leave quite a long tail, and then pull that through. And what you need to do now is put your darning needle on, and you can just sew in these last little couple of strands. Now I am going to cut that toe filling out. There we go, that's fastened nice and tight. And then I can just hide this tail end, sew it in a couple of times, and no one will ever know it's there. So let's fasten that off. Let's get that little bit of stuff in. And this is the basic ball shape. And if you want to, you can do this in a different colour, the ruffles, or you can stick to the same colour. So I'm going to grab the red again, and we're going to make some ruffles. So to make the little frilly, ruffly bit at the bottom, you need to hold your octopus in your left hand, so it's this way around. Join or rejoin with your yarn, and can you see this round of front loops that we made? We're going to be working into those. So I'm going to find a kind of obvious one, which for me is there, and we're going to join onto there. So your octopus is facing that way. So join with a slip stitch, and then into that same front loop we're going to do 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, this first bit's a bit fiddly. 3. So the first chain counted as double crochet. So into the next front loop that you can see, mine's here, we're going to do 4 double crochets. And I split my yarn, so I'm starting that one again. 4. So this is the pattern round for your ruffles. So find the next front loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to carry on, and I shall meet you back on your last front loop, and then I'll show you how to join to the first bit of ruffle. Okay, so I've done my ruffles. I'm back round to the beginning, so you just need to find that first chain that you made and join in the V at the top, join with a slip stitch, and then you can pull your yarn snip that off, and then all that's left to do is to tie in with your darning needle those couple of tail ends. Just darn them in, and then the blue octopus has got a red octopus little friend. I really would appreciate a tiny subscribe. I've got loads and loads of these little cutesy videos to put out there. I hope you've been able to follow along. If you want to show me what you've made, you'll find me on Instagram at the Crochet Web. Otherwise, as I said, I would love, as I build the channel, to build the subscribers. That would really, really help support me and my crocheting passion. So there is Cutesy Octopus number 2, and there you go. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. Really, really appreciate it.